The fishing village huddled in a sheltered cove, with a row of palm trees along the shoreline and a forest of boat masts in the harbour. Villa Ercole lay on a spur of land above the beach, screened by oleander bushes. Years ago it had been painted the same pink as the oleander, but this had faded in the sun, and Gerald, in his nicotine-white trousers and wine-splashed shirt, wasn't the sort to bother with redecoration. Alex had to swerve to avoid the potholes, and they could hear the suitcases sliding in the boot. They were coming for a month, as usual, but they didn't bring a lot of possessions. Who needed toys when you were running about outside, or several different outfits when you spent all day in a swimsuit? Besides, Gerald had sets of backgammon and chess and packs of cards and old scratched gramophone records for dancing. Jess and Alex thought his record collection antiquated and the sound quality poor, but this was good for Lily and Harry because no one was worried about wrecking them. Villa Ercole was the sort of place where you could run completely wild without getting into trouble, and Dolly was the best provider of sweetmeats and pastries that Lily had ever come across. Harry wound down his window and shouted. Alex played a fanfare on the car horn. Dolly came rushing out in her black dress, though she wore an incongruous flowered overall on top of it, which Lily was pleased to see because it meant she'd been cooking. Jess unwound herself from the passenger seat and spread out her arms, towering over Dolly, who was closer to Lily's height. Dolly's real name was Addolorata, after Our Lady, not the Madonna with the Christ child, but the grieving mother whose son had died on the cross. Alex had nicknamed her, partly because she was small and chunky and full of treats like a bag of Dolly mixtures, and partly so that he could greet her with, "Well, hello, Dolly," as he did now. "Every year," she told them, planting kisses on their cheeks. "I hate it when you go and I think, can I wait until you come back? And here you are again, and the year has passed quickly after all." She had been with Gerald for so long that her English was good, though her accent was strong. "It's 11 months, actually," said Harry, and she laughed and chucked him under the chin. Then Alex squeezed her in his bear hug so that her toes were barely touching the ground. "You smell delicious," he said. "Cinnamon cannoli," said Dolly, blushing because Alex always made her blush. It was a trick he had with people. They would open up to him like a rose unfurling its petals. That was partly why he'd gone into journalism. He could tease out stories. "For the children," she added. "For us too, I hope. Only had a plastic mini-meal on the plane." Dolly clucked her tongue and prodded the hollow below his ribs. Both Jess and Alex had supple, willowy frames. Their clothes hung on them in loose folds. Jess's skirt, made of a patchwork fabric in one of her own designs, drifted from her narrow hips. Lily was plump and sturdy, and her stomach growled at the prospect of cannoli. "Gerald napping as usual," said Alex. "Tsk," exclaimed Dolly. "I tell him this is special day. Don't have too much wine at lunch. Does he listen to me? Figurati." Gerald and Dolly were always criticizing each other. She despaired because he wouldn't look after himself properly, and he complained that it wasn't her job to boss him around. Why didn't she just get on and cook his favourite dishes? And she would shout that he never appreciated her cooking anyway. When he'd been smaller, Harry had sometimes been frightened by Gerald and Dolly's quarrelling, but Jess had assured him it wasn't because they didn't like each other. Lily understood that in Sicily it was considered insulting not to join in an argument and give as good as you got. The performance was exhilarating. "Though you and Alex don't yell," she'd pointed out, and Jess had smiled serenely. "No? Well, we agree on a lot of things, I suppose, and that's how come we enjoy doing stuff together, isn't it?" Lily's parents were not like other people's, and it wasn't only because they preferred to be called by their first names. She and Harry weren't parcelled away. They were consulted and included.